All right, hello friends, and welcome to Stellifier's demo. If you have been on this channel for a while, you'll know that I have a lot of different visual novels that I want to try out the demos for. This is one of them. You'll also know that I got a new model for my VTuber, and I'm super excited. I like the art for it so much. So I'm really excited to be playing with it. This is my first video that I'm recording with it. So hopefully everything looks good, looks cool, and all of that. Hold on, I'm messing with stuff in the background. Alright, so I don't know too much about this game. I do know that it has to do with idols who retired and then are now trying to be idols again. I think that I added this to my list of games that I wanted to try back when I was into Ensemble Stars, which was a little while ago. But like I've said before, these games have been on my list of games that I wanted to try out for like 1 or 2 years, so it's been a while. Anyway, I'm interested in seeing how this goes. I don't know too much about it. Let's just hop into it and let's see what Stellifier is all about. Okay, I guess I'll go with this one. How do I... Okay, you have to hit the little disc icon. What is my name? Starting off strong, my name's Kit. What are my preferred pronouns? Wait, my name isn't Kit. They, them. Had to double click it, okay. They say their name means to turn into a star. It seems fitting, doesn't it? Okay. Considering how years ago they were the rising stars who'd found their light almost overnight. There was a time when every melody was theirs and the world knew their name. And it was Stellifier. Whoa. There was Frey, the charming face of Stellifier, with a voice made of starlight and the soulful gaze of a prince coming to your rescue. There was Hawkins, the wild heart of Stellifier, with the spirit of a fiery blaze and hurricane in those devilishly... Nope. There's no Lee, it's just devilish hands of a musical magician. And then there was Michael, the ethereal mind of Stellifier, with the face of an astral angel and the sense of mystery behind that knowing smile. By sunrise, however, the tabloids claimed that these stars had burned too brightly and would never shine again. Damn. But they had something of a Cinderella story, to be honest. Okay. As I wait for my appointment, I watch 2 talk show hosts debate on the screen. For one thing, schoolboys just don't land private auditions for one of Oracle Ship's top producers. But of course, they didn't exactly go without some vital connections. Well, sure, that's where they knew their 4th member from, right? Let's forget about the 4th member because we really just think of the 3 these days, okay? Nobody's refuting their talent, but let's be real here. You love to see it when they rise to the top, but you hate to see it when they fall, am I right? Yet in a stunning twist, here we are now, ready to watch them seize the stage again with their newest concert plans at the Music Capri. Now let's be honest, could anybody have ever predicted a comeback from them? I know I didn't. Well, why not? Most of those one-hit wonders have reunited at some point. What makes them any different? Don't you remember? It's because the segment I was watching suddenly changes to an in-house commercial. I look over at the sharply dressed woman who had walked up to the screen, changing the channel, damn. A brief glance at her employee badge and I realize that I'm moments away from the real showtime. It's Kit, isn't it, from Farbright magazine? I'm Lorelei Althen, Stellifier's manager at Nighthawk Tesseract. It's a pleasure to meet you. You come highly recommended after that feature on Chocolate Juliet. Okay, I want to know what this is. Oh, that is of course a wildly popular girl group managed by a sister company, was previously led by idol Sabrina, and now is led by her younger sister Erica. As we all know, I'm a little bit in front of it, but... as we all know. Also, really interesting, I've never seen this before in a visual novel, but I do understand how it happened, that the lettering right here, at first we got to see the code in the background before we saw the actual lettering change colors. Again, especially with the way that the text writes itself on screen, it is understandable that we saw that, but it's just really interesting that I've never seen that before in a visual novel. Something to think about. We were all quite impressed, especially with how Farbright covered Sabrina's journey on going solo. Well, that was quite a huge moment for their group. It really was. Sabrina's been working on new material lately, while her sister Erica is now co-leading Chocolate Juliet with some new members. So people are definitely watching them, and I know the public is waiting to see what Stellifier is also going to be doing as well. If you ask me, I know Stellifier will be in good hands with you. I'm sure you've done your homework on us, so we might as well cut to the chase. Speaking of which, I believe they should be ready for you now. I stare out into the empty lobby, hoping I'll soon spot someone coming out of one of those myriads of rooms. Instead, Lorelei walks ahead and points to the end of the hall. You'll have to follow me. Now, before you meet with them, we've got some ground rules to cover, of course. What am I doing? First things first, you've signed the contract, so I don't think I need to say more about our privacy policies. Not that I think you would break the NDA, but don't take it personally if Arden and I feel compelled to watch you like a hawk. So as we agreed over the phone, we've given clearance for you to review their schedules. That said, we can't accommodate any last-minute interviews without prior scheduling. Not unless one of them decides to go missing again. Like clockwork, we both stop to the sound of a motorcycle roaring outside. I wait for Lorelei to lead us forward, but I can sense that she's resisting the urge to roll her eyes before she continues walking. And Arden insisted that all three of them were in rehearsal. Hold on, when did I ever say that? To my surprise, a dashing man awaits us at the door with a grin. There's an air of regalness to him, if such princes and kings in fairy tales ever wore metal chokers and weathered denim jeans. A king of rock indeed. As impressed as I am, Lorelei looks ready to scold him. Arden, please don't tell me that he didn't attend rehearsal again. Well, he and I came to a gentleman's agreement. That's not what we scheduled. Of course it wasn't, but I only accepted his offer after I gave him a lecture and he actually listened. Come on, Lorelei. It was either that or having him rattle the other two. He already knows he can't miss another one. He sure can't, not when they haven't mastered their choreography yet and we're down a week. At least he still got to work with the other two. Well, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that just now. Does anybody actually realize that we're in crunch time? I think you're forgetting about how some of us tend to prep before a concert, Lorelei. That said, I'll take full responsibility for today, as usual. He then winks in my direction, taking notice of me. Sorry about the chaos. I hope we haven't scared you away yet. On the contrary, Kit here has probably seen worse in this industry. I'm sure there's some other group worthy enough to take the crown for least prepared. At least there better be. If there is, I'm sure you understand that I'm not at liberty to say, for journalistic integrity, of course. Oh, so Lorelei wasn't lying at all. You do know your way around here. Well then, any chance we've crossed paths before? Arden gives me another daring grin, one that I instantly recognize from my magazine's latest celeb sightings at the Parfait Club, of course. That being a trendy music club and bar popular with indies and celebrities alike, just in case you were wondering. But we all knew that. Alas, I wasn't the lucky photographer sent out to watch Arden that day, but I know his name, and his music. As if realizing the same thing, Arden offers me his hand first. Interesting. Oh, there it goes. Trying to turn down the volume in my ear. I don't know if I'm going to have the final recording of this contain volume. One, because visual novels recently have been they don't check their music for copyright for on YouTube. Not that they necessarily have to, but you know. And so that gets a little bit annoying. And then also, this is just the same song playing over and over again. There's nothing exciting happening music-wise, but... Did I read this? I don't remember. As if realizing the same thing, Arden offers me his hand first. So do you ever listen to Soteria, or are we just not your type? Soteria obviously being a legendary alternative band led by vocalist Arden and managed by Nighthawk Tesseract Records, as we all know. Actually, Endless Oath came up on my shuffle while on the way here. Endless Oath being, of course, one of Soteria's most popular hit songs, as we all know. I just wish someone had told me that, besides you front-running for Soteria, you're also mentoring other groups now. Well, this situation is more of a favor. A special case, if you will. One that I'd prefer doesn't take up more than just a sentence in your story, okay? Arden exchanges glances with Lorelei. Let's leave it to Kit to decide. As far as I'm aware, Far Right Magazine isn't a gossip column. Sure isn't, and we pride ourselves for it. So, sounds like I won't be having to corner you about that while you're here. As I'm sure you're aware, privacy is the most precious thing that management can provide for a group. That and a fair contract. Both of which do happen to be things we do our best to offer around here. Well, Soteria has no complaints here. Plus, I know the office likes having me around, and I also know a certain trio who does too. If that's really true, then they better actually start showing their appreciation by attending their rehearsals with you. I know you hate being anything to them but the cool big brother, but that's not all they need right now. Quite frankly, the last thing we want to see is Kit covering our label's tragic rise and fall after those three fumble the comeback of a century. Comeback of a century. Do you think that sounds too dramatic? Give me a week and I'll find a better headline for you. Damn, a week? Takes you forever to come up with headlines. I'm liking you already. Maybe I should request you write a piece on Soteria for our next single. I'm sure that's something you two can discuss later. But right now we're in dire need of some great press for those three. At least I know there's two of them taking it seriously in the practice room right now. Yeah. They're still at it from what it sounds like, even though I told them rehearsal was over for the day. That's nice, I do like that. See, Lorelei, they're actually taking things seriously. Don't smirk at me. You only get one smirk, and that's for a successful concert. Fair enough. I'll save my best I told you so for next week. Well then, I'm sure Kit wants to see what we've been dealing with. The two of them share another look as they lead me to the practice room. As soon as we arrive inside, I'm surrounded by a familiar melody. It's one that doesn't just take me back to moments ago in the lobby, but to a time when my own dreams of becoming a writer were new and bright as a teen. Let's spiral into stardust, and they'll never find us here. In a paradise of our own design with moons and rings and tears. So, here you are again, Stellifier. Frey, Hawkins, and Michael, all standing in the same order, okay? Together they rehearse in a line, their movements effortlessly in sync, and their vocals melding into one another's. One by one, I can recognize them from their old routines. From their old routines? Okay, I guess. I'm thinking recognize as in, you can see them and recognize their physical appearance, but I guess I can understand I can recognize them from their old routines as, they are the same as they were before. But something's different. Sure, they still sound like the old Stellifier, as close to the way they used to be. But aside from how many years it's been, they've clearly been taking their rehearsals much more seriously than Lorelei had me expecting. That's nice. Nobody can claim that some of those muscles on them simply grew overnight, and neither those vocal skills. Lorelei comes to watch beside me, as she remains just as silently in awe as I do. Chuckling, Arden pokes in to stand between the two of us. Am I allowed to say I told you so before the week's up now? No, hush. They're good, but they're still not perfect. I also haven't forgotten that one of them wasn't there for the whole rehearsal and seems to have snuck in just now. Now, I don't disagree with that opinion, but they're not exactly a lost cause either. I don't know how they could ever be a lost cause to begin with. They already come up with more than just experience, so what more could they be missing? Just keep watching, Kit. Maybe then you'll have your answer. My eyes continue to dart between the three of them, yet they're all too focused to even notice us. It's not until the song ends that they finally come to a stop to catch their breaths. Despite their exhaustion, they can't help but grin in surprise at each other. Before they can congratulate themselves, Lorelei interrupts with a single clap. Finally, seems like we're getting somewhere, but let's talk about that later, after your break. Right now, we've got some new business to go over. Snatching a towel, Hawkins is the first to break from the group. Before anything else, he catches my eye and shoots a grin. I wait for him to come this way, but he walks straight past us to snatch his water bottle and towel off the bench. He takes a single swig of water, then, with a single groan, he douses the rest of the bottle over himself. Dude, it's not that serious. The water trickles down his face and neck as he sweeps his hair back in slow, hypnotic moves, knowing very well that both Lorelei and I are still waiting and watching. So much for expecting a hello. His idea of greeting was giving us a full-blown show. I'm sure even Arden has something to say. Wait, where did Arden go? Before I can search for him, Hawkins finally turns back to us. So, I'm guessing Lorelei's brought you here to make me yours. Excuse me? I blink back in surprise as Hawkins runs the towel over his face with a chuckle. Huh? So it is true then, that I'm really going to be all yours. So when's the soonest you'll want me? Even taking this out of the context that I assume the game is trying to get me to think of, like, I assume that the game's going, oh, you're gonna think of it as in, like, he's flirting with you. Like, I'm thinking of it as, like, for the interview that I'm supposedly doing. Even then, what a fucking weird thing to say. Tomorrow? Tonight? I don't mind, whenever. As long as you don't get too impatient. Then again, maybe I might give you a little more if you were. What are you saying? I look over to Lorelei, only to find her with her fists balled at her sides. Hawkins, if you dare give Kit any trouble here this week, I will make it my personal mission to send you back into whichever symphonic hell you came from. What trouble? I'm just saying that I'm all theirs to profile to their heart's delight. I don't know what you're thinking, but if you care to share, Lorelei? I've got my eyes on you. Don't think I don't know about you skipping rehearsal today either. Well, I had errands. Shooting the breeze at the Parfait Club isn't an errand, Hawkins. Now stop peacocking and at least properly introduce yourself to Kit. Otherwise, you'll be the one having to break it to the other two as to why the only press who will want to cover us after this is Chatter Talk Weekly, which, as we all know, is a tabloid magazine known for its salacious stories and celebrity gossip. Hold on, what? Chatter Talk Weekly? Oh, the horror! Whatever will we do then? Cracking a laugh at his own sarcasm, Hawkins sets the bottle aside to offer to shake my hand. Seriously though, it's nice to finally meet you, Kit. Once Lorelei told me we were going to be probed for a week. For a week?! I started getting flashbacks to a certain spring break trip all over again. And why is that exactly? Well, if you're really asking, then... He stops as soon as he notices Lorelei keeping a watchful eye, just as she promised. Well, let's just say that if you want to make that our first interview session, I'd be happy to oblige. I will say, though, Lorelei didn't do you justice by not telling us that you're smoking. Don't you have some rehearsal to be making up for, Hawkins? Sure. Let's go with that. You just keep on giving Kit the old grand tour, unless they prefer letting me take them around. All of a sudden, we're interrupted by an angelic voice rising above the chatter. At the other end of the studio, Michael rehearses to their heart's content by serenading the wall. Let's go! If you've been waiting for this moment, know that I won't let go. Because tonight we become one. To ever dream. To ever stellify. Wow. Even Lorelei actually seems impressed. I know Michael's profile said they'd been musically trained since childhood, but I'm sure even the wall can vouch for that. I'm sure even the wall can vouch that they've never heard a voice like that in this studio before. The only one who seems rattled is Hawkins, as he wrestles with tearing himself away from Michael's concert to chide them. Oi, Sylph, can you keep it down a little? You're making it a little tough for me to hear myself in mid-seduction. At once, Michael stops and gives a sweeping turn. Oh, I should have come by to stop you sooner from making any progress at all with our new guest. Damn. I still would have found a way. Somehow I highly doubt that while I'm around. With a knowing chuckle of their own, Michael gracefully steps in between us to offer their hand. I believe you must be Kit. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Lorelei has said nothing but great things about you, but of course I myself am already familiar with your publication's work. It's fantastic. Hold on a sec, you are? How do I not know this, and yet we all live together? Not Hawkins, but you do know about it. I showed you the feature Far Right magazine made on my parents the other day, didn't I? Oh, that one. The one where they picked the photo of your mother looking extra lean that day. What does that mean? That better be exactly what you were going to say before that pause, Hawkins. Otherwise, I'll be making you the one to clean the apartment alone for once. Or maybe I'll just have to have Kit help me find another way to make you pay. What do I have to do with this? Michael shares a smile with me, hoping I'll partake in their joke. So it really is true what they say about Michael's smile. I find myself staring almost longer than I should, until Lorelei shoots a casual glare at Hawkins. The break is almost over, Hawkins. You're already on the hot seat as it is, so you might as well get moving. As for you, Michael, once rehearsal is over, there's a few notes Arden and I need you to look over for tomorrow's press statement. I could take a look at them now. They can wait. You're on break time. Or I could just look at them now, if you show me where, and we can cross it off as done. Knowing that they're about to get their way, Michael sneaks another smile at me as they make their way towards the door first. Do you mind taking a detour with us, Kit? As I'm sure you can tell, their highness also has a way of testing my management style around here. No, that's just Michael all of the time. The only one they'll sometimes give a pass to is Frey. As Hawkins mentions his name, I look around to notice that Frey isn't in sight. Where did he go? With Arden, probably. As I follow them out into the lobby, I notice Arden coming out of another office. Spotting us, he briskly shuts the door behind him, but only I seem to notice it creak back open. While the others start reviewing the press statement in the hallway, I step towards the door and spot another familiar shadow inside. Walking closer, I see Frey hunched over the desk with papers strewn about. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. He seems more like a teacher when he's like this than a musician. Something has put him in a writing mood. Could he be working on their next song after the concert? Or could it even be for the concert itself? I can tell he knows I'm close by, my curiosity preparing to meet his eyes. As I approach him, I see what he's working on, and they're not lyrics at all. You're grading papers during your break. At once, he sets his pen down to meet my gaze. Perhaps I am, but I'm also writing lyrics if that's what you're looking for. He casually points over to one of the strewn sheets, although I'm still fixated on the half-graded essay he's got before him. Is it a really good essay that's, like, inspiring you? Wait, I thought that you... You thought what? that once it came out that the great Stellifier was coming back, I'd quit my teaching career just like that? Okay, so I wasn't crazy in remembering that I read that you became an English professor at Procyon University after Stellifier disbanded. But what about your schedule? What about my schedule? As long as I'm keeping to what they want from me, I can still teach and grade between breaks. I feel like that would be a little bit difficult if you go worldwide, but you know, okay. For now, that is. Chuckling, Hawkins and Michael come over to join the both of us. This is a big-ass office, by the way. I can already tell that Frey wishes Hawkins hadn't made that comment as he starts putting the essays away. You see, Kit, we have a little arrangement with the prince here. While we did tell him that he could have quit teaching cold turkey, he insisted that the school could keep him on, whatever it takes. But come after the concert, and you know what that means, Prince Frey. That you'll finally stop trying to make drunk apartment karaoke a thing on Wednesday nights? No. The karaoke stays, but also because even Michael likes it. But I don't. Yes, you do. How else can we ever get a rendition of Soteria's Endless Oath out of you? I can think of a few other ways, and I'm sure they don't require you giving Frey any more reasons to be questioning his decisions. Despite what Hawkins says, he and I both do understand how delicate the situation has been for Frey. None of us exactly had this reunion in mind until a few months ago. To be fair, you two hadn't, but I did. And I'm here, aren't I? Wait, who are you exactly? Frey looks straight at me, waiting for me to answer when Michael steps in. Frey, this is Kit from Far Right magazine. You remember Far Right, don't you? Their publication did a brief feature on us when we first started. They even featured my parents as well. And I'm sure even you remember when Lorelei said we're going to have someone shadowing us for interviews here and there throughout the week. Now what she didn't say was... Hawkins, at least wait until later. Frey, you're just as bad as he is sometimes. Oh no, there's two of them? Gross. Well, he already has one person telling him no, so I know better than to take that spot from you. I guess that just makes me the middleman in this situation, doesn't it? You really are always in the middle. But it wasn't always like that, remember? Back when there were 4 of us. I want to know about this 4th person that they keep, like, dancing with. Like, oh, there was a 4th person, but we're not going to talk about that. Oh, remember when it was 4, but we're not going to talk about that. Frey pulls back in his seat. He grows quiet even as Hawkins cracks yet another one of his casual laughs. Come on, you Prince. We need you, and don't you ever forget that. I know. What does that mean? Despite the assurance, I still can't quite make out Frey's expression anymore, or even Michael's. Seeing Michael, they quickly know how to assume a smile, but it's one that's built more like a wall than an open door. Did the 4th member die? And with Frey, he's still searching for a way out of his head, and I'm not sure he's realized that he's still slightly retreating from them. As their 4th member, I remember their name from my prior research, but will I ever get to hear these 3 talk about them? Just then, Lorelei comes knocking in. Break time's over, so you know what that means. Arden's waiting for you at the studio. Make sure to make it count. I'm sure we will, now that we know we've got another pair of good-looking eyes watching us. Oh god. Get me away from him. Chuckling, Hawkins leads the way out. Michael follows closely behind. But before they go, they take my hand one more time. Did they ever take my hand the first time? It really has been a pleasure, Kit. I look forward to getting to know your process, then perhaps I'll show you mine. Having finally stashed his grading away, Frey is the last to head out. As he does, our eyes meet, and he walks straight past me. Nice. Well, I guess I know which one's going to be the toughest to crack. Kit? The way he says my name almost startles me, but it's nothing compared to the intensity behind his gaze. What the hell? Yes, Frey? Do you like that I have an impact on you? We've known each other for a whole 5 minutes, my dude. You don't have to tell me now, even if I already know what your answer is. What? Can I take that literally any other way than the way that I'm thinking in my head? Maybe I'm not understanding. You know, maybe he said that in a different... What? Can I go back? I can't. They turned off back and forth. They do have a log at the top here. It's the only way that I can take it. We've known each other for 5 minutes, my dude. What the fuck does that mean? Okay. Anyway, he simply smiles and heads back into the studio. Lost for words, I take a moment for myself before following them. So this is how my week's really going to start. It's finally starting to make sense why Perrault said that Stellifier's management wasn't accepting just any featured stories from the group. Perrault obviously being the editor-in-chief, also known as my boss. I'm sure they've got their fair amount of interviews lined up, but they've surely never crossed my researching style before. There's no doubt that Lorelei is going to have their schedule ready for me to look over right after this. Still, who really knows what this week will bring for all of us? As a thin light reaches through the office window, I notice one of Frey's papers lying on the floor. Sure, he's going to be needing that. As I pick it up, I can't help but start reading it, and reading on, and on. Until when I finally finish, the last 2 lines linger on my own lips. Our melting hearts will escape into celestial time, or my tears will cease your fears, and will stare into the eyes of eternity, my stardust butterfly. So let's find heaven now and together, my stardust butterfly. Holding the lyrics tightly, I make my way back to the studio's doors as I hear them resume their rehearsal. One by one, they inspire one another with their seemingly boundless energies while taking on their solos. When they're performing, it's as if nothing else seems to matter. But still, no one's ever said why this couldn't have been the life they've always known. I can tell that's not even the story Lorelei and Arden want for the world to know about Stellifier, okay? But without the past, then what is their future now? If they're truly ready, then perhaps this is the time for the world to truly know them. But this time, I'll be the one to chronicle their quest for the stars. And then we get day. Hold on, I have to look at this. Collectibles. Meet them alone on day 4, spend an evening with them on day 5, fulfilled relationship bar. Okay, it's all the same. Memories. Sure. CGs, but I haven't gotten any, so. Socials. Coming soon! Hey, how you doing? See you later. Where are you now? Snap buzz. What? I want to know about this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They're everywhere. Pumpkins? Pumpkins? Clickogram. And finally, some quality of life features. Who's the Lemon Prince? I assume this is a different game that they have made. And then we have decoration. Oh, I can change their outfits? Huh. That's kind of weird. I barely know them. And then places. Expressions. I guess I can look at what they look like. Okay. Okay, drag tasks into the schedule to attend. So here's the options of things that I can do, and then I figure out what my schedule for the day is going to look like. Also, before I do this, that's just the settings thing. Okay. Watch and take notes on astronomer's sky. Meet at the front desk. Sure. It's so boring, but let's go. Double check everything before leaving. Huh? Get permission to view group rehearsals from Lorelei and see what's new at Tesseract. I love double check everything before leaving to head home with Prey. What does that mean? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't know that I want to do any of these. Things that I know about the characters from that first— I keep like raising my head, I don't know why. Things that I know about these characters from the whole 5 minutes that I have gotten to know them, I feel like the game puts a little bit more importance on them. Like, you're supposed to play that and be like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with at least one person in particular, and so I'm gonna go for them, versus, like I said, with pretty much all of them, I've known you for like 5 minutes, right? Don't flirt with me after we've just met. Unless that's your character. I feel like that works with Hawkins. The other two, I'm like, don't do that. And I just don't think that I care about any of them. Also, not gonna lie, I don't want to like bash this or whatever, you know, I'm just saying my thoughts and how I feel about it, but I don't mean it in like a truly really bad bashing sort of way. That beginning session that we just went through, the past 30 minutes of this game, I've been so bored. I don't know what is happening. I don't know, there's not a lot of like description. I'm just here, and I guess I'm a journalist. And I guess I'm going to interview them throughout the course of a week. I do like the little exclamation to like explain certain things. But the rest of it I'm just not vibing with. I don't think that I like this one. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even know that I want to... We'll do a day just to see what it's like. So, see what's new. Get permission to view group rehearsal. I guess? And then see what's new. Okay. And then you play. Listen, I'm just looking to see how this goes. Arriving to the music studio, I'm ready to get a front row seat to today's rehearsal. Arriving to the music studio, I'm ready to get a front row seat to today's rehearsal. Arriving to the music studio, I'm ready to get a front row seat to today's rehearsal. Help, I'm in purgatory. What the hell? It took a little smoozing to get L'Oreal to let me sit like this, but it's bound to pay off. Most of our subscribers... Why did it suddenly start working? Most of our subscribers will stop at nothing for our rehearsal exclusives. Not to mention everyone's been wondering if Stellifier's routine has changed after all these years. I settle down in my seat just as the door opens. In comes the trio in their stunning parade, each of them stretching as they make their way to their spots. Oh hey, I think we have an intruder on our hands. A cute intruder, no less. Hawkins, focus. What? I can stretch and enjoy the view, can't I? Not when you're disrupting their space, too. Are you comfortable in that spot? Otherwise, I'd say you can sit closer, too. I'm fine, I promise. It helps that I'm supposed to be invisible today while you three go at it. What a way to say that. Now that's an impossible feat. Hawkins barely stretches his legs before letting Michael take his spot. The three of them look surprisingly calm for the time crunch they have on their hands. They only have so many rehearsals before the big day, and yet... Yeah, also, by the way, I feel like we should talk a little bit more about the big day, but... Here they are, just snickering with each other, and flexing their muscles quite a bit, apparently. I wonder why. Lots of muscles all over. My hand grips at my pen as I try to regain my focus just as the door opens again. A smug Hawkins spins around with a wave. Hey, Arden. So what's it gonna be today? Whoa, wait, what the hell? His jaw drops as a girl walks straight in wearing a strawberry printed track uniform. That's Arden, what are you talking about? Stopping before them, her fierce gaze renders them silent as she now commands the room. Hold on, I know her. Or well, I know of her, having covered enough of her whereabouts last spring. Now the question is, do they know who she is? While Hawkins is too stunned to move, Frey and Michael immediately head over to her. Erica, what are you doing here? What does it look like I'm here for? I'm here to dance. Here? In this studio? Did Arden double book us with Chocolate Juliet? No, sillies. We're your instructors for today. Arden's orders, damn. Wait, we? With a single snap of her fingers, Erica summons over the rest of her troupe in matching strawberry uniforms. Let's go. You heard me right. We. In perfect formation, the Chocolate Juliet girls greet each of them with their signature poses. Let's go, girl groups! Good God, the magical girls have come for us. Please tell me that doesn't make us the monsters who's gonna have their asses kicked. I'm quite sure that was the plot of their Sparkle Punch music video, to be honest. We better prepare our fates, then. It's a 7-3 match. Damn, 7 of them. And I already know that Hawkins is going to end up in the ceiling. That said, crossing his arms, Frey raises an eyebrow at Erica. Did Arden really arrange this? Because I wouldn't be surprised if you told me it was a certain someone else who talked you into it. If you think the yes name has anything to do with this, then please. Frankly, it's better she doesn't know I'm here with all of you. Well, she's definitely not going to be hearing it from me. Frey suddenly looks way more relieved now, even though he's trying to hide it behind that smile. I guess S name won't be getting a front row seat here of this with me. As the girls await them, the trio are beginning to hesitate, taking to the dance floor. Suddenly, they've reverted to schoolboys looking for a way out from the winter dance. Without realizing it, they're veering towards me to reconvene together. Seriously, is this Arden's idea of a joke? For all his dad's speeches, it sounds like he's not worried about crunch time at all anymore if he's making us dance with the girls. I thought you said the man came highly recommended, Frey. He sure does, but no one ever said he got there the orthodox way. There's always a method to the madness, Hawkins. Although I'm starting to think maybe I've really been too long away from all this. If you think this is routine, it's not. Maybe if they'd put us to dance with some of his trainees, then for sure. But usually they don't put the roosters with the hens in the same coop. Let alone the same area. I guess that means next week they'll be having Sabrina come show us how to do pirouettes. Now, be nice. I can't help overhearing them, as Hawkins is seemingly looking for a chance to escape. Setting my pen down, I call out to them. You're not scared of a few girls, are you? I don't know. What's going on, you three? You're not all scared of a few girls, are you? To be fair, we've done enough contracts in the first phase of Chocolate Juliet girls to know that they might as well be capable of lethal attack. You're kidding. He's actually not kidding. I made the rookie mistake of dating 3 of them back in my 2nd year, okay? To hell with the Daily Spice finding me out. I came out of those relationships more limber than a praying mantis. Wait, you think any of them are single? Oh god. Hawkins, focus. Honestly, I'm willing to wager we can learn quite a bit from them. Yet I can't help but wonder if Arden is trying to give us a bigger message here. Like I said before, there's always a method to the madness. In this case, I wouldn't be surprised if this is his way of trying to tell us we need to make friends again in the industry. I wouldn't be surprised either. Well, at least it sounds like the two of you are ready to do this. If you give me a moment to pray, then I might be ready. Those girls. I'm going to need to pray to a whole pantheon at this point. Hey, you three. They didn't send us here to watch you three squawk around here like seagulls. That probably shouldn't have been what Arden had told them today would be like. Oh, that... I wish I could read. That probably should have been what Arden had told them today would be like. Alright, we've had our fun. It's time to dance. I watch as the three of them face the squad before them, with Erica signaling them when to start. So, Arden tells me that your step sequence in Electric Graffiti needs some polishing. So why don't we focus on that? As a matter of fact, we had to learn a similar step for Strawberry Dreams. You're not really going to make us dance to a dream pop song, are you? Looking over her shoulder, Erica merely answers him with a smile. At once, Strawberry Dreams starts blasting through the studio, and the girls immediately spring into action. The level of focus sets in their eyes, as they each manage to flash a smile out to me before spinning into a new routine. Wow. They're practically flawless. I've known that Chocolate Juliet has been at the top of the girl group charts for a while now, but seeing them live, it's like nothing I've seen before. Even the guys seem to think so too. With another graceful spin, Erica lands just before them without breaking a sweat. You see? The routine's almost the same as Electric Graffiti. Don't be shy then, join in. The three of them exchange a look before Michael steps forth first, timing their entrance perfectly. Ray follows next, yet it takes him a moment to catch on to the rhythm as he follows Erica's movements. With both guys dancing along, Hawkins finally peels his eyes away from them to hop in on the next sequence. Soon enough, there's a dance-off happening before me. I refuse to peel my gaze from even as I take notes, my fingers flying across my notepad. Honestly, they're all equally amazing. Even though it's becoming more apparent how much it's taking for Stellifier to get back into the swing of things. They do have rhythm, but I can even see from here that they're hesitating slightly. And this time, I don't think it's because they're embarrassed to be dancing with Chocolate Juliet. With their rehearsal flying by, I finally bring myself to set my bag aside as I make my way towards them. Some of the girls have broken off into groups, practicing small parts of their routines with each of the guys. This might be a good time to get some sound bites in while I'm at it. If I were to check up on one of them, which one should it be? None of them! Man, I don't know. I like them all the same, and that is to say, not really much at all. Let's talk to Michael. He's the first on the list. Or, they're the first on the list. Michael it is then. Spotting them amongst a cluster of Chocolate Juliet girls, I stop to watch as Michael follows one of their leads, swerving between beats. They remain laser-focused through the music, feeling the rhythm with every step. As even the Chocolate Juliet girls disperse for a moment to let them finish the sequence on their own. There's just something about the way Michael moves that isn't like the others. Damn. They're not like the other... I don't know if members... I was trying to make it like a not like the other girls sort of thing, but I didn't know how to deal with that. Then again, I did read that they've taken ballet when they were younger. But it's not just that. There's knowing how to dance, then knowing how to create art. I'm beginning to think twice about interviewing them as I start to turn around to look for one of the others. Damn. Yet in a moment's breath, I feel a hand upon my shoulder, taking me along in a delicate... I'm not here to dance! Michael, I'm not much of a dancer. You say that, but you've still found a rhythm. My rhythm. I don't like this. I'm regretting choosing you. If you're still unsure about it, then just let me do all the work. Chuckling to themselves, Michael wraps an arm around me and guides me into a spin. I struggle to catch my footing, yet somehow they manage to gracefully glide us along, daring to finish with a dip. Our eyes meet as Michael balances me against them. Unfazed, Michael leans in with another chuck. Dare I say you might have some musical tendencies of your own? Maybe so, but what about yours? You really can dance. Well, I wasn't given much of a choice to be put in a lyrical dance as soon as I could crawl. Even then, there's only so many people who actually have the gift. Don't you think that might be you? Letting me go, Michael merely smiles. Now then, go right to your heart's content. What a stupid line. I watch them returning to their rehearsing, resuming their routine from before without missing a step. Soon, Erica gathers them all around, as everyone returns to their positions. Alright, you three. We're going to try this all together one more time, so let's see if we've been able to spring some life back into your routine. With the music blaring once more, the guys shoot a glance at me before starting. At once, they seize the rhythm as they take cue from the girls while sensing the beat of their own. It's not at 100% yet, but there's definitely an improvement. At the very least, they're looking less to each other for help. But at their most, I stop to watch them move as their bodies begin to emanate a language all of their own. One that I'm beginning to understand. They wouldn't be moving like this if they didn't know they deserved to be here. Before I can forget my thought, I start scribbling it down, right as the music stops. Suddenly, there's a single applause coming from the door. Just one clap. Well now, that's what progress looks like. With a sly grin, Arden walks over between both groups. Girls, you killed it. Erica, my regards. There's only so many captains who can wrangle these three. It does help that they know what awaits them if they didn't play nicely with us. True. As for you three, we're getting there. That's still considered a pass, right? For now, yes. But if you think I'm going to let them put you on stage just yet, then I should tell you now. This was just a warm-up. God, I hate you. Remember, Hawkins, method, madness. Don't you start with that again. So, when do we start the main session then? Arden crosses his arms and grins as if he just can't wait to be the harbinger of bad news. As a matter of fact, it starts right now. Had a feeling, yeah. Okay, and then you come back to this screen, so that then you can go into playing whatever you have as the night scene. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just don't think that I'm enjoying this. I really wanted to try it out just to see how it was going, but I feel like with us going through at the very least a day scene, so we could see how the game goes, that I'm like, I'm kind of done with this. I see how it goes. I'm understanding it, and I just don't think that this one's for me. I find it a little boring. I don't like any of the love interests. I don't like the fact that I've known them for like 5 minutes and they're flirting with me. Like, I know it's a romance game, but you need to chill out a little bit, okay? I think those are all my notes. I was trying to think of anything else, but honestly, I think that was it. So unfortunately, you know, with trying out a whole bunch of different demos, there are some that you're not gonna like. There are some that you're really going to like. This one was just not it for me, and that's okay, because at least we tried it out together. I think I'm gonna end this recording though, So thank you for joining me for the 55 minutes that it was going on for. I hope that you enjoyed watching this, enjoyed sitting down with me and trying out a new game. And I'll see y'all for the next time, where I try out a different visual novel demo, perhaps, or one of the other games that I have on my channel. Alright. I feel so awkward because it's like, we haven't finished with the game, but we gotta finish this.